Susie is going to teach you how to actually live and get those big dreams, those big plans that you have. So just in case you have not seen Susie on any of the previous summits, Susie is an amazing, amazing profit coach. She is the author of 10, yes, that's right, 10 best-selling books. And she has a new book coming out, which she's going to tell you about a little later, Power Your Profits, as profits as plural. And we are just so excited. The book is already in pre-launch, is already selling out, which is just amazing. So I'm just so happy for her, so happy that she has joined us for today. She has had several multi-million-dollar businesses. She's helped businesses get to multi-million-dollar status. We just can't thank you enough for joining us today, Susie. So without further ado, I'm going to shut up and I'm just going to pass it on to you. Susie Carter, everyone.
I'm so excited to be here. So thank you, Marcus, and thank you for just putting this together so that we can learn and grow together. I think this is an awesome community, awesome tribe, awesome content that we're having. And I want to share, before I get started, that it didn't come out this way, right? I was not born with a silver spoon. We had no spoon. We had plastic spoons. Let me just say that. We had plastic spoons, not silver spoon. So I grew up in a very large family. There was 9 of us. There's Bobby, Ronnie, Stevie, Terry, Joni, Shelley, Susie, Kelly, Debbie. And we grew up in 1,200 square feet. My dad was in the military. My mom was a seamstress. And so money wasn't a conversation that we had. Right. I just knew early on, I didn't want to be poor. I didn't want brown furniture. I didn't want brown carpet with that many kids. So you figure there's 11 of us. Everything is brown. I do not like brown anything. If you come in my house, people go, why do you have white furniture? Because I grew up in brown carpet, brown comforters, brown sofas, brown. The walls.
Hold on, I'm brown. So
I like me some brown, but I don't like
okay.
I just want to clarify that. It's like, oh my gosh, like just, you had to hide the dirt because we were just dirty little kids. And so, in my family, it wasn't talked about going to school. There's 6 girls, 3 boys. My dad's philosophy was get married, go have a baby, get a job. That's your job. Get out. It was really get out. So I didn't, I do have my PhD. We didn't talk about that. And my PhD is my public high school diploma. That's my PhD. So anyone that, thinks that their education is holding them back, it's not your education. We do need education. And this is the kind of education that I thrive in because I want to learn something today and implement it tomorrow. Traditional education, I just, I can't do it. And I knew that early on, right? I did well in school, well meaning I had B averages. Right. But I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun for me. But I love to learn and I love education. And I'm a student of the world and I'm a lifelong learner. And so however you need to get your education, I have a ton of education, just not in the traditional sense. And for years, Marcus, I let that hold me back. I meant that I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough to be in the crowd, whatever the crowd was. And I let that social norm keep me down. And I had to shift that. If I wanted to become prosperous, if I wanted to create abundance in my life, I had to shift that conversation. And so much of your money conversation comes from our past. 80% of our emotional programming is done by the time we're 8 years old. So basically, Marcus, we're all running around like little 8-year-olds dealing with money. So think about who you were at 8 and what money you had or didn't have. If you got allowance, you didn't have allowance. We got $1. Each of us got $1. And then my sister would keep track of everything that we did wrong. And every time we did something wrong, we got a check. If you got a check, that was 10 cents. So by the end of the week, I never had any money because I was always getting in trouble. So I'm like, okay, this system doesn't work for me. I need another system. And so once I got out of the home, I really decided that I need to create this abundance for myself. The gift that my dad did give us is he said, you can do anything that you want. You just have to work hard. Go get whatever you want in the world. Go get it in life, which was awesome because that kept me going. I started working from the time I was 12, doing odd jobs, cleaning houses, babysitting, doing yard work, painting, anything. One year we signed up to paint somebody's house. Like, who is hiring a 15-year-old to paint your house? Well, I got the job. It took us the whole summer to paint somebody's house. And then I don't even think we finished the back. It was way too much work. But I became a hustler, right? I became an entrepreneur at a very early age. So our money mindset really is where we need to focus on. So I'm going to share with you how we can manifest your financial well-being, how you can shift that language, how you can create a financial abundance and have a life that is unrecognizable. And I started working on this about 25 years ago and really created a foundation of my belief around money. Again, 80% of our emotional program is done by the time we're 8. Another 10% is from 8 to 18, and another 10% from 18 to death. So we have about 10%. You know, if you're young and you're, under 18, congratulations, you're here. If you're like most of us, we're over 18, and now we have to really figure out how are we going to leverage this thing? How are we going to manifest your financial abundance? So I do believe in education. And, Benjamin Franklin said, take the coins from your purse, invest them in your mind, and your mind will fill your purse overflowing. So whatever education that is, I always look at what do I need to get myself to the next level? What do I need in my business? And as Marcus says, I built two $10 million companies, and I've built 6 companies in my entrepreneurial career, and I've helped hundreds of thousands of clients make financial abundance. So money is a gift to me. Money is a passion of mine. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an accountant. I'm an entrepreneur just like you, figuring out how to do it. So I'm going to show you how I've done that, how by the time I was 40, I was a multimillionaire. And I had the ability to retire and never work again. And so my goal is, what were those things that I did that I can help you do? And the first thing I did was I created a financial premise. So create my financial premise. And then so in my family, we created our financial premise. So I had mine and my significant other had his, right? Or we created ours together. Because you can't, usually in a relationship, you have how you handle money and how the other person handles money. And so you want to come together and really look at what's our purpose, right? Because one person is always the spender and one person is always the saver. I used to be the spender. I could create money, but I could also spend some money. So I wasn't really good at accumulating. And when we created the our premise, like this is what we're going to do for our family, our financial well-being, it shifted my mindset because now I had a different goal and a different intention. There was me as the individual and us as the family. Now, if you don't have a significant other, you just be aware of that when you do get into a relationship so that you can come together. Because I see a lot of disruption in relationships, and whether that's business partner relationships, that's the same thing. Because again, in business partner relationships, there's always a spender and there's always a saver. So creating that in business as well. And then you want to look at possibility. So there's possibility and there's reality. So when I first start working with clients, they want to go, I want to do 10 million. Okay, can we start with $1 million? So when you follow my systems, I can teach you to build a 7-figure platform, right? That's what my book's about. That's what my programs are about. How do I build that 7, 8, 9-figure platform, right? But you got to start somewhere. So yes, I want to have possibility of 10 million, but I've got to come back and go, let me create $1 million. Once I can create $1 million, then I can really leverage that. You need to have a bold declaration, something that you stand by, right? Which is different than your premise, something bold and powerful that's going to motivate you. Nobody else can write this for you. It's like your business plan. You have to write it for yourself, right? And then you want to look at what's my purpose of wealth, right? Why do you want money? Because money's just dirty paper, right? Money's just an exchange for services. So what's the purpose for you? One of mine was security. Like I needed to, because I grew up in a large family, because there was never enough, because there was always never money, there was always this underlying stress that nobody talked about. There was always this underlining scarcity that nobody talked about. So I didn't want to have that feeling anymore. And I didn't want to have to rely on a significant other. What if that went away, right? So for me, security was my number one. 2, I want to make a difference in the world. So for me, making a difference in the world and helping other people, because nobody ever taught me this. I had to learn this myself. My parents didn't sit down and teach it to me. I didn't have a mentor teach it to me. I went to the library, right? Back in the day, I'm a little more seasoned than some of you. We didn't have the internet when I started my businesses. So I'd go to the library and devour books on financial prosperity and financial wealth. And the things I'm going to share with you today were always in every book that I read. The foundation was you have to have that purpose. You have to have a bigger calling. It can't just be about the cash, right? Why do you need it? I want to help businesses. I want to really change the businesses that I touch. I want to change their generational wealth. I want them to create a legacy for their family. I want to shift the way that we were taught about money. And then what's the change that's going to happen in your life because of it? For me, it gives me freedom. It gives me freedom in the things I do. It gives me freedom to support my family. It gives me freedom to support my community. It gives me freedom to support small businesses. So for me, what changes is I get to be more generous, right? So part of my foundation is generosity, self-expression, and people living their dreams. And so you've got to come up with the purpose, right? Why do you need it? What's going to change? Because money is really just a tool to achieve the most important things, in your life. So my financial purpose, and I want you to jot things down as I say them. You can borrow from these, you can glean from these, you can emulate from these, but don't copy these, right? There's a difference. Because if you copy them, they're not really speaking to you. Some things that on this list will speak to you. So I want you to leverage those if they speak to you, but really think about, does this resonate with me? So this is my purpose. Extraordinary financial wealth gives me freedom. Extraordinary. Notice the words that I choose. So I want extraordinary wealth. I don't want just money, because money doesn't equal wealth. $1 million doesn't equal wealth, because you can gross $1 million and spend $1.2 million and you're still bankrupt, right? Financial wealth gives me choices in my life, but money gives me security that I can provide for myself and my family. Money allows me to make a contribution to humanity. Financial prosperity and wealth allows me to keep growing and expanding my horizons and possibility. It opens me up to new horizons and new opportunities. So I want you to write down at least 3. You want maybe 5, but 3 is a minimum for your purpose. What's my financial purpose? What's the why that I want to create money? And again, it just can't be to pay my bills, right? That's not abundance, right? If you're just paying your bills, then you're just paying your bills. So I want you to take a couple minutes and do that. Then we create a premise. The premise is the foundation. So you have the purpose, and then we have the premise. And so my premise is, I am prosperous, I'm prosperous, I'm prosperous now. All that I have, all that I love, blesses and multiplies. This one, every time I write a check, every time I receive a bill, I say this little prayer. Because I'm looking at, I want to bless the money that's coming in, and I want to bless the money that's going out. And so there's an abundance of money, and I am a money magnet. Again, I am chanting this throughout the day. I'm looking at this all the time, right? Because I want to be that money magnet. I want money to find me, come to me. I create and attract financial prosperity daily. I create and attract financial prosperity daily. I create my wealth by my contribution to the world. See, that's part of my why. I create my wealth by my contributions to the world. So again, I'm not just taking, I'm giving of my knowledge, I'm giving of my time, I'm giving of my expertise. I deserve to have a financially secure and financially abundant life. That goes back to me feeling like I'm not good enough. I don't have the education. I'm not as smart as Dr. Marcus over there, right? So I want you to look at, what's the thing that you deserve? We deserve it, right? God put us on this earth, allow us the opportunity, and we're entrepreneurs. We can create and manifest whatever it is that we want in life. I create value in my business relationships, and I'm rewarded handsomely, right? So can you see where I had to shift my mindset? I had to shift what I was doing. I had to recreate what I knew from my past, which was there was never enough. Don't ask, there isn't any, right? If you want it, go make it, which that was a good belief that I created, but it was a belief that held me back. If I look at my brothers and sisters, no one has the financial abundance as I have in my life, because I made the conscious decision and created structure and systems to create that. So once you have your purpose, once you have your premise, then you create really what I call is my value statement. And this is it's all combined. So I want to read this to you. It says, my contribution to humanity is deep. My investment in my future is profound. I believe that anything is possible with a plan and a strategy. I'm a gift from God, and he's given me the ability to help others see the financial abundance all around them. I give freedom where restriction only lived before. I give hope where there's only been despair. I'm the solution to the problems that small businesses face every day. I love making a difference and creating profitable businesses. Wealth is a measurement of my contribution to humanity. Wealth gives me freedom. Freedom gives me peace of mind. Peace of mind makes me happy. Wealth gives me purpose and validates that I can do it. So I want you to think about, what if every day you woke up like that? What if every day you lived inside of that? So Marcus, what would happen to your life if you had, and you may have, I don't know, we've worked together for a long time. So what would happen in your life if you create something like this?
Wow. If I create something like this, I think you said it earlier in the session, my life would be barely unrecognizable. So a lot of times it's so easy to get caught up in the day of the minutia of business. And there's a lot happening. But so many times we don't take a step back to actually step back and come up with this foundation. So I think, and although we've done that, one thing we need to do better as a company, and me as the leader of the company, is making sure we revisit it a little more often, or a lot more often. I'd say quarterly. So definitely something I need to implement more and better, and will be and am implementing starting right now.
Imagine if we all did this with our contractors, right? Your business, everybody on this call, their business is in different levels, right? So if you have contractors, if you have VAs, if you have people that work for you, like what if they created, what's going to happen to your business, right? You, the leader, quarterly is too long. We need to do it every week, every day, until it's in your DNA. Like it's in my DNA. Like I'm doing my little, I'm prosperous now. All that I have, all that I love, blesses and multiplies. So I'm doing that while I'm driving. I'm doing that when, like, I end this conversation and this class, I'll do it then, because I'm grateful for the abundance of love and opportunity that I have in the world. I'm grateful for everything that touches me, because wealth and abundance just isn't money. Money is one indicator. My friendships are an indicator. My family's an indicator. My family loves me. My children want to hang out with me. Like, to me, that's wealth. Right? Look, I moved out when I was 17. I never looked back. I did the obligatory Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, but that was it. Right? So to me, I wanted to create wealth, this holistic idea of wealth, and the holistic idea of what does wealth really mean? My physical body, right? Making sure that I'm taking care of that. Now, I'm like everybody else. I gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, right? And I have a reality check when I'm up. I'm like, oh, what happened? I can't fit into my skinny pants. I got to go to the fat pants, you know? So like it comes and goes, but I'm always present to it. And so if you have this in your office and it's like some companies have their values on the wall, but their values on the wall, they're not talking about them. I want this to be in your DNA. And I promise you, magic happens. All of a sudden, when you look at my wealth as a measurement of my contribution to humanity, like that's all that it means. I know that when I'm hitting my financial indicators, I've made a profound difference for people. So I want you to really take this on to look at, how could my life be different, right? So we want to start with your purpose, and then we want to create this premise. The next thing that we do is we create a bold declaration. And the bold declaration should make you a little uncomfortable, right? It should make you think about, what do I need to change? So these are mine. And again, I'm a Xerox machine. You can emulate, you can glean, you can rearrange. I don't want you to copy them, because you need to find out what's the thing that is going to inspire you. So I will be committed to creating my financial future daily, being focused on the highest income producing activity. I have to ask myself this every day. What's the highest income producing activity only I can do? Because I catch myself in minutia. Well, the minutia isn't making me money. The minutia is, it's filing stuff, but I can hire somebody for $15 an hour, $20 an hour to do that. So I'm committed to creating my financial future daily. I would delegate all tasks that exhaust me and steal my joy. Whew. This one is so huge because I was doing stuff that I didn't want to do. I was doing stuff that was just boring to me, poke a needle in my eye. We all do that, right? And then I will be creative and bold in my request with people to have their dream life. So I like to make people uncomfortable. Like me stopping and asking Marcus, what would this mean for him? I want him to think, right? He's my brother. So I want my brother to have financial wealth. It's not enough for me to have financial wealth. I remember I was traveling in Italy one year and I'm journal writing and just, kind of reflecting at my year and reflecting at my life. And I'm like, I want to have more friends, right? I want to travel with my friends. Then I'm like, I need friends that I can forward to a travel with me because I didn't have friends that could travel with me. And I'm like, oh, I've mastered this thing, but I need other people around me to master this thing so we can have an abundant, joyful life. Right? I will speak my truth and request what I need to achieve my financial goals. Woo, this one's hard, right? To speak your truth and request. You need to circle, highlight, underline that one to achieve my financial results. So the bold declaration are what are the actions I need to do to get my financial premise? So these are the declaration, like for me, that last one, to speak my truth and request what I need. I can speak my truth if I'm holding you accountable to speak what I need to achieve my financial results. So that's if my partner's overspending or if I'm overspending and if I'm not following the budget or asking someone to invest in me or asking someone if I could borrow funds to launch a product, whatever it is, to go, oh, how can I achieve my financial dreams? And then the last thing you want to do is you want to create a to-do list. What are the things that are going to help me live my premise? What are the things that are going to help me stick to my plan? And so these are just some of the things that I do. I live inside my wealth creation. So I create my wealth plan and then I'm committed to that. So I'm saving. If you look at, I save 50% of every check from now on. Now, the reason I do that is about in 2007, I lost about 10 million in assets. So I had property, when the stock market crashed, I crashed everywhere around me. And so all the things that I'd spent 20 years building felt like it was destroyed overnight. And so I had to rebuild my wealth. So I didn't, I'm a little more seasoned and I didn't have another 20 years to rebuild the wealth that it took. The great part is once you understand money, once you understand the foundation of money, then you can just keep doing that system. So it didn't take me, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, it took me about 5 years to accumulate that 10 million that I lost that took me 20 years. Because now I know the system of money, right? I invest in a Section 79 plan. I review my financial situation quarterly. My business, I'm reviewing every month. My personal wealth strategy, I'm reviewing it every quarter. So automatically money comes out for my taxes, automatically money comes out for my retirement, automatically money comes out for my savings. So that automatically comes out. I don't even have to think about it. And then quarterly, I'm looking at, do I need to tweak anything? Do I need to put more in investment? Do I need to put more in taxes? What do I need to do? And then the last piece is leverage all revenue streams. Let's really look at your business plan to go, is there a revenue stream that you have that you're ignoring? And if you're ignoring it, why are we putting energy towards it? Is it something that's outdated? Is it something that I need to get rid of? We need to wealth to me is like the padlock that we had, in junior high school or high school, and you would turn it, 22, 61, 22. And if you had one little tick off, it wouldn't open, right? So I want you to look at your wealth plan is like that combination lock. One little tick and your wealth is not going to open up. So I need you to look at what is that strategy and how am I leveraging my wealth? And am I playing full out? I think a lot of people do the double dutch. They're in, they're out, they're in, they're out. I need you to get really committed to your wealth and make wealth your priority, right? Create that strategy and play inside that strategy. Still live your life, still play big, but manage what you're doing, right? I cut my frivolous spending down Because I would look at every month I'd get my American Express bill, and I always use American Express because I have to pay that off. I don't like credit card debt because I got in trouble with credit card debt very early. And so my American Express bill comes in and I evaluate. I'm like, did I need to spend, let's say $1,000? Did I need to spend that? Right? What did I spend? What did I buy? Do I remember what I bought? Did it bring me joy? Did it bring my business closer to where I needed to be? Or was it just frivolous? Right? If you cut out your frivolous spending, you'll realize that's your savings account. That's the start of your retirement account, right? That coffee that you're buying every single day. Like I used to go to Starbucks, Marcus, I hate to admit this, but I would go 2 times a day. So that was $10 a day. If you do $10 a day times 365, that's $3,650 on coffee. Look, I bought a Keurig, I bought the pods, and I said, I'm good. I don't need to go to Starbucks every day. For me, it became a routine. But when I looked at it, it was $3,650 a day. I'm like, I'm not buying coffee anymore. Now I'll go occasionally, but it's not frivolous spending anymore. And the reality was I was only drinking about half of it anyway. So I'm wasting half that money, not even drinking it, not even enjoying it. I believe in spoiling myself. I believe in rewarding myself, but I want to do it where it's something worthwhile, right? Not just that frivolous spending. So I want to look at, again, to go back and go, what is my purpose? What's my premise? What's that bold statement? And what are the actions that I need to do? So that you can truly look at your business, you can truly look at what you're doing and be responsible for your own wealth creation, right? Nobody handed me my wealth creation. This wasn't an easy road. It took education. It took diligence. It took studying. It took managing my own behavior, noticing when I was being frivolous, noticing when I was overspending, noticing when I wasn't managing it, noticing when I wasn't putting money in my savings. So I had to be very aware of what I was doing and, more importantly, what I wasn't doing. Because a lot of times we're going to get around to saving. Well, you all know it's like getting around to losing 10 pounds. You're not going to get around to it. You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. So I want you to put a list of what's the things I need to do from this session so that you can create the financial wealth that you would deserve in this year, 2020. Make 2020 the game changer. Draw a line in the sand to go, I own my financial prosperity. It's not up to my significant other. It's not up to my wife or my husband or my boss, or it's up to me. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. Now, if you're a business owner and you need to really look at where you want to create your wealth, we have a couple different programs for you, right? So I have, the book, as Marcus said, just came out. So let's see, how do I start sharing again? There we go. And I want to look at, this is the roadmap to building a 7-figure business. So this is what I did to grow my multi-million-dollar companies. And this is what I've used to help other clients achieve their financial success, right? We go through your sales, your marketing, your operations, your finance, and what are the tools that I need to put in place, and what are the systems I need to put in place, and what are the people that I need to grow my business now. So you can go on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, you can go on BAM, and then you get 5 free bonuses. The book doesn't come out till May, right? So we're in the pre-sale, so you get 5 free bonuses. The first bonus you get is we're going to do a 5-day profit camp. And we're going to look at 5 for every day for 5 days. How can I generate more money in my business? Then we're going to do a webinar, and the webinar is all around building the financial infrastructure of your business. All roads lead to money. All roads lead to money. So everything in your business leads to the financial wealth of your business. And then 3 amazing people are going to get the opportunity to win a one-on-one coaching session with me. So we're going to pull a name out of everybody that pre-sales. Now, when you work one-on-one with me, Marcus, you know this, it's $120,000 for the year. So that 1-hour session is worth $5,000. So I want you to look at, what would I do to have coaching from Susie? And if you buy more than 1 book, your name goes in 5 times. If you buy 5 books for 5 friends, your name goes in 5 times. That's 5 times more that you can win that hour coaching session. I promise you that hour will be a game changer. So you want to buy as many books as you can. We're going in, we're starting the new year. So let's create the new year right and give the gift of inspiration, give the gift of transformation for your team. If you want everyone having this conversation in your company, then we want to buy it for your team so that your team has it. And then last but not least, we're going to have a private Facebook group where we're just talking about powering your profits. We're just talking about leveraging. We're leveraging what you're up to and what you're doing. So I'd love for you to go to the site. It's poweryourprofitsbook.com, and grab your free bonuses and grab a copy of your book. So when it comes out in May, we can all celebrate and make lots of money this year. I'm very excited about that. Juicy, juicy. Yes, Marcus?
Yes, yes. Juicy, juicy, juicy. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's amazing, Susie. And just to hear a lot of especially the behind the scenes that we don't think about a lot of times with wealth creation. I like to kind of akin it to an iceberg. Everybody knows about the top of the iceberg that you see, but we never think about the iceberg that's underneath the water that holds up that part that we see. And so a lot of people are seeing, people with money or sustained money, I should say, but not seeing the foundation that it took to build that sustained money, that sustained wealth. And I love that you're really diving into that. And I love how your book is going to go into that even more, poweryourprofitsbook.com. I love that. So that's amazing.
Thank you. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited. This is, this book is really 20 years in the making of what did I do to build my own companies, but what did I also do to build other people's company? See, it's not enough that you build your own, but can you do it for other people? And so I've really created, because this wasn't easy for me, right? Business didn't come easy for me. Truly, I was a technician. 15% of our financial success is based on our technical ability. The other 85% is all this business stuff, right? So it didn't come natural. I had to study, I had to learn, I had to understand. My motivation was I was a single mom raising two little kids. And so I had to pay rent, childcare, tennis shoes, clothes. I had no child support. So I had to figure it out, right? There comes that day where this could either be my destiny and I'll be a broke mom, right? Trying to, live off a system, or I could create a new reality. I already knew what it was to be broke. I grew up in that. I didn't want to be that. I'm like, I like nice shoes. I like nice clothes. And so I just made a declaration to myself that I'm going to figure this out. Wealth is all around me. And it is a gift that I have. I have the ability to look at you and look at your business and go, oh, we can make money here. We can make money here. We can make money here. And then formulate a plan so you can achieve that. Now, you have to do the work. You can read the book, and the book is a great read, but you got to implement the book. This is a working book. I give you exercises. Do this, you get this. Do this, that you get this. So Marcus knows, he's been in our tribe for a very long time. And, we worked together for 5 years. This is our 6th year together, which is very exciting. So there's the action really is the antidote for despair. You got to be in action. You got to be in that process and make that happen.
I love that. That's especially that last thing you just said. Well, I love it all. And the last thing you just said, action is the antidote to despair. When you said that, wow, a couple of years back, that's something I've really been having to keep at my front of mind, because a lot of times, and entrepreneurs will do this a lot. A lot of times I'll get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed by either goals that I've set, things that I know that are coming up. We have a big event that's coming up later this year. And I'll get overwhelmed by that. And I'll start thinking about all the things that we still have yet to do with that event. But then I remember that thing you told me about, action is the antidote to despair. I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute. As long as I'm in action, I don't have time to think about and get into worry and get into fear, which all live in the future. What is the very next step I can take right now? And as I take that next step, and then I build that inertia of those steps and build those inertia of each step after step after step, that's really that's the cure to that overwhelm, that despair. It really, really does help. So entrepreneurs, I encourage you. These are gold nuggets, diamond nuggets. Diamond nuggets. And they seem so simple. A lot of times, if you're like me, I would think that my solution would have to be so super complicated, so super involved. And I would often dismiss the simple stuff. I'm like, oh, it can't be that easy. And we sometimes making money hard.
Right.
It does take work. It takes commitment. It takes focus. But a lot of times it's not as hard as we make it. And that's something Susie taught me as well.
Right. It's shifting the mindset. The mind is a powerful thing, right? You can sabotage yourself unconsciously. I have clients that we've grossed millions, but they're still broke because they're still spending every dollar that they make. That's why
Absolutely.
the system, when you look at my action plan, 50% of it goes into savings, right? And it's going to my taxes, it's going to my retirement, it's going to my personal savings, so that I'm never in that position of being broke, right? broken. It's all about commitment of making you the priority, right? Because there's never money left over to save, right? There's never money left over to pay yourself. Put yourself in that line item. We deserve, as entrepreneurs, to be paid the worth that we would in a job plus more. 80% of small businesses aren't profitable, but out of that 80%, most of them aren't paying themselves what they would get paid in a job. So it's looking at that going, oh, there's a reality here. This entrepreneurship is supposed to provide us a lifestyle that a job couldn't do. Or why are we doing it? Go get yourself a job, right? And they go, oh, it's what's up here. And then it's the action. Am I doing the action? I'm not doing the action. I can always look at my clients if they're not hitting their goals. Great. Well, how many sales calls did you do? Great. Well, how many did you have a lead campaign? What's in place to make sure this happens? And if the answer is nothing, well, of course we didn't make any money. Juicy stuff, Marcus. Juicy stuff.
That is super juicy stuff. That's amazing. It reminds me of something one of my mentors told me. If you've gotten to the point where money is the root of the problem, you haven't gotten to the real root of the problem.
Right.
And it's just like lottery winners, just like you said, the businesses that you've helped raise millions, but they're spending millions and they're still broke. A lot of almost every lottery winner ends up 5 years later being more broke after than they were before they actually won the lottery. And
right, we just don't have the discipline of money.
Right, the discipline of money and the mindset, right? A lot of times we don't think about that. So these mindset shifts are golden. These mindset shifts are diamonds. Like, I encourage everyone listening, make sure you take heed to those mindset shifts, because it's so easy to look to the money as the solution, but money is really only a symptom of whatever the problem is. It's only a symptom of the solution. If we don't correct the roots, we're not going to be able to produce different fruits. I like that. I'm going to use that again.
That's good. Right. And you want to look at it's all around you, right? So if you look at my wall, right, I have inspiration all around me, profit, money, on my wall over here, it says wealth is your birthright, my water bottle, just to remind me all the subconscious things that have me present to, it is my birthright. We get to choose prosperity. Right. I live in authenticity. Right. So what's that thing that's inspiring you? Like, if you hate your job or hate your environment, okay, you can't be creative in a mess. Like, get out of your mess. Have something that inspires you.
Yes.
I want to come in my office every day. It's beautiful. It's pretty. It's like, okay, I'm excited to help Marcus make money. I'm excited help you make money. Right. Whatever your purpose is, it doesn't have to be money. Right. Mine's just because this was so hard for me to get. Right. It just I wasn't taught to go, ooh, I really mastered this thing because I wanted to make more money. I wanted to provide for my children. I wanted to create a different legacy than what I was given. And my parents did a great job. None of us went to jail. Right. We always had food, Christmas, like we had abundance inside of our simple budget. So I'm not saying what they did was wrong. I just had a bigger vision.
Oh, I love that. Bigger vision. And a lot of times we look for our parents or our family to be our support system, and we get upset that they're not. And it's not their fault. They're your family. Let them be your family. The vision is yours. So make sure, we unknowingly put that pressure of them supposed to being our support system. And a lot of times that's not the case. They won't be your support system. Let them be your family. And you have other support systems. You have this tribe, you have Susie tribe, you have our combined tribes, etc. As your support system. Just goes into that environment, creating that environment of success, which I love that you said that, and how you love to come to your office. Environment is stronger than will. And so we can have that, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this business. But, when I was overwhelmed, I would look at my environment in my office, stacks of paper everywhere. No wonder I'm overwhelmed. My environment as well as my mind. Right. So, yeah, so many good nuggets, so many great nuggets from Susie. Oh, this is amazing.
Thank you, Marcus. I really appreciate it. I appreciate, you allowing me to come and share with your tribe. Right. I appreciate who you are in the world. Marcus is just a genius. He's a marketing genius. humble man, a servant man. I know y'all know that because you follow him, but I'm just edifying that.
Well, thank you, Susie. I appreciate that. And it's not just my tribe; it's all of our tribe. It's your tribe. We're one big happy family. So we can't thank you enough for gracing us with your presence this summit. Any final thoughts? Any final things you want to leave them with for this first 2020 summit?
Yeah, so I would say the thing that holds us all back is fear, right? Fear of not knowing, fear of, is it going to work? And the reality is fear leads you to believe that where you are right now is a safe place and going forward is a risk. But the truth is you're always at risk when you're standing still, risk of stagnating, but more importantly, risk of missing out on your own destiny. So I always say, feel the fear, do it anyway. Hold fear in one hand, courage in the other, and jump. Jump to your future, jump to your dreams, go play big, go play full out, and find the people in your tribe, in your community that support you, right? We have enough haters and naysayers in the world. Find the people that believe in you. It's going to be tribes like this. It's going to be my tribe, inside of my community, this community, because the more you can see yourself, the more you believe it's possible.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely love that. Susie Carter, everyone. I hope you took notes. I hope even if you did take notes, go back, rewatch the session again. I know I will be, because I want to take a lot of notes on a lot of things that I have heard today. And you see, even though I've been in her tribe 5 going on 6 years now, I'm still learning, still writing things down. So make sure you take those notes. Make sure you act on those notes. A lot of us, if you were like me, I would collect a whole lot of information, and the information would just stay collected until people like Susie, like Marcus, you got to implement. I'm like, yes. So make sure you implement this great knowledge, implement this great information. So with that, we have another great session coming up for you. You'll get the details on how to access that session in your emails. If you have questions about this session, make sure you send those questions to us, leave them on this page, reply back to the email that sent you the invite in the first place. We want to get those questions so that we can address as many of those questions as humanly possible. And we just look forward to seeing you in the very next session. So thanks again so much, Susie. We love you. We can't thank you enough. Make sure you check out poweryourprofitsbook.com. That's profits as plural, poweryourprofitsbook.com. And with that, we'll see you all at the very next session.
Bye.